Today on The Daily Charge, getting emotionally and spiritually ready for whatever Apple throws at us tomorrow. More leaks surrounding the Pixel 4, YouTube's AI failing to protect children, and a special surprise for National Teddy Bear Day.
Good morning and welcome to CNET's Daily Charge. It's Monday, September 9th. I'm Bridget Carey.
I'm Joni Salzman.
Let's kick things off with our top story today. So back in February, YouTube made the promise to suspend comments on videos that featured kids aged 13 and younger. This was following an outcry over pedophilia lurking in the comments. Videos with young children included comments with predatory links, so YouTube said it would just end comments on videos that featured minors who were 13 and younger, and even videos with older minors who could attract predatory behavior. But fast forward to now, 6 months later, and Joan, you did a search on YouTube. You found a number of videos still had comments on them, videos with kids. What's going on?
Yeah, it's still incredibly easy to find tons of comments on videos that feature kids that are clearly infants, toddlers, preschoolers, and then even some videos that show teenagers in those sort of predatory situations doing bikini. You know, this whole thing kicked off because there was a vlog about a guy who did a search for bikini haul videos and tumbled into this algorithmic like pedophilia wormhole.
It's gross.
Yeah, very gross. If you search teen bikini haul even now, you can find teens wearing bikinis with comments that are inappropriate.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like what Google was just using its algorithm to just automatically detect if there was a kid in the video. Like, what's wrong? Like, why are there still comments on these videos?
I mean, there's a couple things going on. One is that YouTube's scale is staggering.
Yeah.
YouTube has 500 hours of content uploaded every minute. So from like the beginning of when we started talking, there's already like 500 hours have already been uploaded. It's a lot. But that being said, they built themselves to this scale. And whenever they have these problems, they say, hey, we've got machine learning that's going to help us keep things in line. And to a degree, they are. We didn't find a ton, like a slew of really predatory comments on most of these videos, but it was still easy to find them. And they made the commitment. They said, we're going to be disabling comments on videos that have minors that are younger than 13. And even if they're at that scale, their machine learning just isn't catching enough for it to be... I did one search and found over 100 from 100 different channels that had comments.
This wasn't even digging deep. This is just like a basic search.
Yeah, it was a basic search for a kid-focused subject. I searched pretend play and found videos, you know, they ranged from videos that had almost no views and no subscribers to videos that had 23 million views. There was one video that had over 1,700 comments, and that was one after we contacted YouTube and said, here's a list, 100 videos from 100 different channels, all of them by what you publicly said is your policy should not have any comments enabled on them. That was one of the ones. They disabled half the comments. They disabled comments on half of the
So
videos.
after you contacted them,
yeah,
they were cleaning half of them up.
Yeah. And one of them was a video that had 1,700 comments already accrued on it.
So do they have a statement of like why? Do they need more time to get the whole algorithm right? Or
they didn't directly address why the things that we found slipped through the cracks. They said, look, we've taken down hundreds of millions of comments on lots and lots of videos. We're investing hard in it. And they use these stats that don't really say anything. Like they have a classifier that removes 2 times as many predatory comments. Okay, I don't know what that means because they won't tell us what that's off a baseline of and what 2 times of like 3. Yeah. That's 6. I mean, that they're not talking about that, but like, what do we really know what that means? They're not being transparent about where they actually stand on a promise they made months ago.
Between this and what happened last week, YouTube definitely has to do more in this area.
Yeah, and that's why this matters at this point, because YouTube just promised last week that they would be going even further and relying on more machine learning to not only take away comments from videos for kids, but also any personalized advertising and notifications, in addition to other things.
We'll have to keep watching that. There's also another Google story out today. There's a leaked promotional video for the Pixel 4 smartphone. It popped up online Monday. Now, the video appears to confirm some rumors that we've heard last week. In the video, you can see owners are controlling the phone with hand gestures, and they're also controlling it fully with a series of voice commands, like With just your voice, you can pull up photos, send those photos to other people, and you don't have to lift a finger. Cameras are also a big part of this video. It looks like you could take photos really well in the dark, even capture all the stars in the sky by taking a picture of the Milky Way. There's this big square cutout in the back for 3 camera lenses, and an earlier leaked image does show the phone could come in a bright orange color along with black and white. So a lot of leaks on the Pixel 4. Funny timing for that, Joan, don't you think?
Yeah, it'd be funnier if all the previous leaks for the Pixel 4 have been from Google itself. This is one leak that didn't come. It's like an actual leak. It didn't come from Google. So they didn't have any control over the timing.
It's just one of those things where you go, okay, the Apple event's tomorrow, and we're all talking about the Pixel 4, so it'll make things interesting in the discussions.
I don't think we're going to be talking much about the Pixel 4 tomorrow, though.
Well, it is one of those things where people who are curious about it, they'll be hearing about it in a few weeks. Usually it's an October kind of event for Google. And it's if these leaks are right, you got, that square cut out in the back, and we've seen that kind of leaked out with Apple too. So it's just interesting. We're going to be coming to you live tomorrow covering that Apple event. We have a pre-show stream starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We're going to give you commentary before the event, during the event, after the event. We have our team also chiming in from inside the Steve Jobs Theater at Apple's campus in Cupertino. So definitely stick around for that, of course, tomorrow. And finally, there's a bit of a different twist for our last story. Today is National Teddy Bear Day. And I know what you're thinking. Teddy bears, they're not a tech topic, but I have quite the guest for today's show. Say hello to Cubby, the curious bear. This is the latest robotic toy from Hasbro's For Real line. Let me switch them on. So I cover tech toys, Joan, and I thought, for the spirit of the day, let's see where robots are taking our children into the next era. I mean, if you think about Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had one of those.
No.
He's very talkative. He's very cute. But this is 34 years after Teddy Ruxpin. We have all these little sensors that you scratch him and you press his paw and he'll do things like play a peekaboo. It is just kind of unreal how many motors are going on in this thing. But what's interesting about, now Hasbro always comes out with an adorable animated kind of robot kind of pet for your toddler, but you can sleep with this guy. There's a sleep mode. I don't know how much you've been in this world, but normally the singing robot things I do not want my daughter sleeping with. But if you switch it to sleep mode, he'll instantly kind of just go to sleep and not activate any of the touch sensors. So now they want you to bring your robots to bed with your kids. It's pretty adorable. He looks like he's singing
playing a
lullaby.
Song. Awesome.
But with all his eyes and ears, it's like something out of the Country Bear Jamboree is now in your home. But I'll spare y'all and I'll turn him off now. But he also comes with a little accessory. You're supposed to feed him, pet him, all that jazz. I don't know what you think, Brian. I don't know what your first impressions are of seeing this in Joan, but he is quite something that you don't see every day. Either way, I wanted to also let you guys know, for our viewers, we're giving one of these cubbies away. If you want to win a bear, you can go on to cnet.com/giveaway for the details on how to enter. And you have until 6 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. The giveaway is open to, tell us, Cubby. Sing along. It's open to the U.S., Puerto Rico, and Canada only. And we'll name the winner on our show next week. So we want to turn to our live audience to see which of today's stories they want to learn more about. Cubby, are you going to keep chiming in? BBG, what do you have in the comments?
I'm not a shill for teddy bear picnics. Not at all. Bridget, I like that you brought this to the table. We'll cover some of the hard stuff soon because there's lots of great comments and questions rolling in as always. But, I mean, there's a lot of robotic toys floating around out there. Give us a short list because, I mean, people are saying, oh, no one even knows what Teddy Ruxpin is anymore. Anybody in my generation growing up, we had a Teddy Ruxpin. Teddy's back. Now we've got this guy and the equivalent. How many are really floating out there? And is this really like a viable thing for parents these days? Where is the robotic toy fall on the spectrum? Not just teddy bears. And do we feel like they're definitely in a safe, progressive educational place? Is it a good toy, essentially?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a trend that's happened in toys. Yeah, you go back 30 some years, and Teddy Ruxpin was the first audio animatronic kind of situation. But now you're seeing parents want to get away from toys with screens, have something that they could just play on their own. And robots range from $25 things you could do tricks with to all these kind of there are trends that continue through time, from Furby to Hatchimals. It's this, I want to care for something, I want to keep it alive, I want to have it be my friend. But robotics are making it like cheaper and easier to just have something so animated. I mean, this guy's playing peekaboo, you're feeding him, you're brushing him. It's making it so parents, kind of don't mind dropping like $100 on something so adorable. But I found it interesting for this particular model. I'm like, oh, now they're doing sensors where you can actually take them to bed with you. I'm like, okay, now we're entering it. Everyone's trying to one up the other guy. But in terms of other toy trends, it's really about like, how can we make something also that you're not going to just toss in the corner afterwards and get bored with once, is there that continuous play? I think that's the biggest challenge for these toy makers now.
Next question, let's go ahead and swing back over to YouTube. This is a really sensitive topic, and we actually have a number of creators in our audience. So, Joan, thank you again for bringing this to the table. Marianne says, and this I thought was really good, shouldn't the creators also be responsible for monitoring their own comments?
Yeah, and that's, this isn't like YouTube's stance, but it does, everyone needs to have a role in this. YouTube needs to have a role in keeping kids safe. Creators who make content for kids or featuring kids need to have a role in keeping kids safe. And parents do. Like, it's not just one of those systems has to be the one protecting kids and the only safeguard for kids. And there are ways for creators to be able to do that. If you have a kid-focused site, you don't have to have comments enabled. You can have them turned off. You can moderate them. In fact, when YouTube initially announced that it would be disabling comments for videos that have young minors in it, it said that there would be a few exceptions of channels known to YouTube that they know have the resources to actively and proactively moderate their comments. So there's definitely ways that beyond YouTube that creators can keep kids safe and avoid these sort of abuses.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy says, young kids and YouTube creators are living in a different online world. What happened to old school bake sales or lemonade stands just to raise money? I like that. It's funny. I live in Astoria. I live in Queens, and I've seen not one, not two, but 3 lemonade stands in the last week, like out of the blue, and I've never seen one before. And I've been in the city almost 11 years, and I've just never happened upon one. And all of a sudden, 3 out of nowhere. I thought that was pretty neat. Did anyone here have a lemonade stand growing up?
I never did, but that's lovely. It was always about selling the cookies outside of the grocery store,
Joan, what's your take on that? I like that he's asking, why are kids suddenly more attracted to YouTube? Why are kids getting away from the more traditional ways to, beg for candy money?
Well, there's 2 sides to that. There's kids as viewers of YouTube, and then there's kids as talent on YouTube. Kids as viewers of YouTube, we know why they're going there. It's because there's tons of free content there that parents and kids want to watch. It's a huge, kids video is, according to some studies, the single most watched category of video on YouTube. It's a huge thing for YouTube. But then on the flip side, there's the talent element to kids being talent. And depending on the age of the kid, it depends on whether that's a parent's motivation for having the kid be a star of their channel, or if it's an older child, somebody who wants to be an influencer themselves. I read a lot of comments on a lot of kids' videos over the course of reporting this story. And there were some things that weren't abusive, but there were comments that just as a parent made me be like, what is going on? Like, there was one comment on a video where there was a mother writing about how it was a long comment, and she said, I can't remember the name of the kid that was the star of the channel. We'll just call him Alex. And she's like, my daughter loves Alex. She watches Alex in the morning when she eats breakfast. She watches Alex at lunchtime. She watches him before she goes to bed. She's always asking for Alex to come and visit. Do you think that maybe Alex could do a shout out to my daughter? And I'm like, what is going again.
This stems from parenting too.
I know. It's a parent. I mean, like, I don't know their situation. Who knows what's going on with the kid that loves Alex, but it's just kind of, there are moments where I was just kind of like, what is this platform doing to kids and parents? What is this parent platform combination doing to some kids?
Yeah, it's weird.
Do you think there's an increased element of, I don't want to use the term that I'm thinking of, but star effing, where everybody's got a little bit of celebrity to them these days, as long as you have a YouTube channel. I mean, hell, somebody recognized me out on the street last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was weird. Like, nice, and thank you again. I don't want to sound like I don't appreciate it, but, like, who the hell am I? Just for being on YouTube, I got recognized.
Well, one of the things that I did notice about a lot of, especially because I was looking at channels and videos that were designed for like a baby, toddler, preschool sort of audience, not only audience, but also like the talent of the channels was in that age range. And so a lot of the comments were other channels making the same thing, being like, I just liked your video, I just subscribed, hit me back. There's a lot of that. It's not really like star effing, but it is a lot of just kind of like creating like how the sausage is made in this weird like kids content economy that has arisen on YouTube.
It's the kids content economy. I'm getting a lot of pitches because we are getting to the holiday season from toy companies who make toys just based on celebrity children. And
well, yeah,
that's even becoming its own thing.
Well, yeah, like
too.
Ryan's Toys has like
that of course is a big one, but I mean like it's kind of interesting that like you just more and more keep getting pitched to me. I'm like, okay, so yeah, there's always another economy just mixed in with that on top of the kid celebrity aspect of it all.
What about like doxing? I even imagine Sagi here has stated that there have been parents that have driven their children to their favorite YouTuber's house. Like, that's never okay.
No.
Why is this suddenly being like, what the hell's wrong with the parents, not the kids?
I don't know. We do crazy things for our kids. Sometimes literally crazy. I mean, when I say we, I don't mean me, but collectively.
My mom used to write to television show stars to be like, can you give my daughter a signed autograph? Like that was more normal.
Is this the modern version of that though?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah, showing up unsolicited at somebody's house is never. That's never okay.
No, we're like maybe losing our grasp with like, you know, like the fact that this is a social media and not everyone is your best friend, right?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason. You know, before when you had a child star, there was this level of gatekeeping and level of distance, mostly because stars and child stars previously, before the internet sort of democratized your ability to broadcast yourself. I mean, that was YouTube's like slogan, was broadcast yourself, for a long time. Before that happened, child celebrities were mostly known because they played somebody else. And so like as a fan, a young child would identify with, you know, somebody's character rather than the person themselves. But now, because it is like a broadcasting yourself sort of star, you feel like the kids feel like, and adults feel like too, not just for kids content, that you actually have a legitimate personal relationship.
Yeah, I'm inviting you into my bedroom with my camera on my computer right here.
I'm looking directly in your eyes. I'm saying hi to you.
Yeah.
I respond in some comments, even though they should be disabled on the kids' videos. But yeah, it's a different, it breaks down that barrier between star and fan, and with that breakdown comes the feeling that there are fewer boundaries.
Okay, we've got a few minutes left, so we should probably switch gears over to the phones. I have to ask, is the square camera cutout the new notch?
I know.
No.
well,
I don't think so.
I don't think it'll be as hotly contested as the notch,
right.
I guess. But yeah, that seemed to be the whole trend thing. Like, how many cameras can you pack on the back?
Will be a trend, but I don't think like it's on the back. Who really cares what it looks like? It's not going to be super obtrusive.
Well, I forget who brought this up, but the idea of that bezel where you can't lay your phone flat down on the table, maybe it was Ayaz who brought it up one time, but having so many different I guess layers to the phone, where it's not a flat flush surface anymore, where you set it down on the table and it's sitting on a fulcrum. It's just another part to break or scratch or chip, or one more thing that makes your phone rattle and slide around unnecessarily. So
yeah, it's supposed to be like a little thinner when you see like all the rumors, but yeah, it's still sticking out.
Yeah, it's a protrusion no matter how you look at it. Ryan says Pixel has duplex and so many other smart features such as call screen. What could Apple offer that could potentially rival this?
Oh, Siri, obviously.
Obviously. No, I think it's gonna be a lot of focus on what the camera tricks can be. It's sad. That's everyone cares about now.
Yeah.
Like and software. Like I don't know how much you can surprise anyone with the physical hardware anymore, except for like what other tricks can these cameras on the front and back do?
Yeah, and we'll see tomorrow. I mean, Apple wants to wow us. We'll see what they have to surprise.
I like this question. Pixel 4, all these video quote-unquote leaks with the blurry videos. I wonder what kind of phones they're using to tape these. Seriously, every major phone maker has touted their great video quality, so why does everything look like crappy like security cam footage? That's the elephant in the room. Address this.
That's really funny. It's a really good point. Why can't you get a high-res video of any of these leaks? I don't know. Maybe because I don't know.
It's like Bigfoot.
Right, exactly.
We've got cameras on Mars, and yet these leaked videos still look like utter crap. What's the deal here?
I know.
Okay, few minutes left. Why do you think the Pixel isn't good enough to entice iPhone users? I used to love my Pixel until I found how useful iMessage is.
Well, what exactly is the question?
Rhetorically, theoretically, why do you think the Pixel may not be good enough to sway iPhone users out of that ecosystem?
Oh, like
Pixel
pulling
fall
an
short?
Apple user into the Pixel.
Correct.
Well, I mean, like Apple's famous for its ecosystem being like this walled garden where everything's beautiful and fancy and premium. And so like that's a place, there's a cult of Mac. There's always going to be loyal followers to Apple that aren't going to go away. But those people on the fence, or I guess like that are kind of straddling the walls of the garden. One of the things that held Pixel back was, right, it had a Verizon exclusivity, didn't it? Is that true? The Pixel 3?
In the beginning?
In the beginning. I think those sort of exclusive things are a hindrance. Like if you can't get the phone on your carrier, as soon as it's like when people are actually talking about it and excited about it, then that's one hurdle to keep people from wanting to switch over.
Yeah, now it's all about, no, stay. Don't you want the subscription service that you can only get here?
Right.
Please stay. Yeah, it's all about that kind of software stuff. I don't know. I'm an iPhone user who uses Google apps, so I feel like I'm always straddling the worlds.
Caleb says, I 100% believe that Google is leaking these videos themselves. That's why it's blurry and has crappy resolution. And Kashish says that's because they want it to look authentic. So they're taping it at high quality and then down-resing it so that it looks more authentic. And, I mean, we've talked about this before. I know you're in the chat. Is Google leaking this stuff on purpose? What do you think? What do you guys think?
I don't know.
I think
They could, I guess.
I think someone who's a fan, who has access, at the very least, is wanting to like see the drama right before an Apple event, at the very least, because it's just one of those things where like if we keep talking about it, don't forget about the competition. That's how I think it always ends up being something that they want to keep the conversation going for. I mean, we had to wait till October though, right?
Squeaky wheel, man. Squeaky wheel. Mm-hmm. So we're out of time, but I do want to mention that we are not going to have a regular show tomorrow. We here in New York are actually doing the live show surrounding the Big Apple event. We mentioned that earlier on. So we're going to be dedicating all of our resources, including me pushing the buttons, into that show. So regular Daily Charge podcast will resume on Wednesday when I'm sure we'll have all kinds of great recap stuff from the jaw-dropping keynote. I'm sorry, I shouldn't make fun. Who knows? It could be great. Let's keep our fingers crossed. In the meantime, though, we hope we'll see you here tomorrow for the regular Apple stream right here on CNET. Well, actually, that being said, it'll be on the regular CNET YouTube, not on our Daily Charge YouTube channel, but it will be also on Periscope, CNET.com, and actually we're doing it on Facebook Live, too, so check the CNET Facebook page there if you want to watch along. We'll be doing some giveaways on that show as well, and all kinds of other goodies sprinkled in. So it'll be a fun-filled day of me sitting on my butt for 5 straight hours pushing buttons while they show phones off. I love my job. In the meantime, though, Bridget, let's drop one more time. We're giving away a cubby.
Yeah. So I figure, why not just find this guy a nice little home, right? But yeah, you can go to cnet.com/giveaway if you would like this in your home or someone who's going to love it. And you have until Thursday at 6 a.m. to enter. And we're going to announce the winner next week. So
please go ahead and go enter to win a cubby. He desperately needs a home, and it better not be here.
All right, well, thank you for all your questions. If you missed us live, let us know your thoughts in the comments. We love interacting with y'all. And if you thought today was a very good show, you got to throw us a like. Tell your friends. We're live weekday mornings on YouTube, Periscope, and CNET.com. And there's also that handy-dandy audio podcast, too. For The Daily Charge, I'm Bridget Carey.
I'm Joni Salson.
Thanks for joining us.